enlightenment, Meg's Magical Mansion.
Hey everyone, Parfait here, and it's day 2 of our 13 days of Samhain. You know, it's almost time for the kids to get back out there and go trick-or-treating. And have you ever wondered why we trick-or-treat in the first place? You know, how did it all start and when? Well, today Meg is going to share some of the fascinating history of trick-or-treats. So sit back, relax, and let's find out where all this candy came from in the first place.
Samhain is the third of the 3 harvest festivals on the pagan wheel of the year. First we had Lammas, then we had Mabon, which was also the autumn equinox, and now it is Samhain. And this marks the end of the harvest season. It's a time for harvesting squash and gourds and other root vegetables. It's also a time for meat and butchering. So this holiday was a preparation for the long dark winter that was coming up ahead. But of course we all know it's a time for fun, merriment, and to have things be just a little bit spooky. It's a time for trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. And today I want to talk to you about the history of trick or treating. We all love the tradition of mumming and guising. And nowadays, we just call it something different, trick or treat. The idea of wearing a disguise at this time of year goes back to the 16th century in Scotland, and it spread throughout the Celtic region, Ireland, Wales, the Isle of Man, Britain, and people went door to door in guises and costumes, reciting poems and verse and singing songs in exchange for food and drink. And people might dress up as the soul of a deceased person, and thus the food and drink that was given to them became an offering for the departed loved one. Or they might dress as spirits of winter. Giving offerings to them could bring you good fortune that could help you through the long winter. And of course, if not welcomed, these merrymakers could cause mischief. And we all know that if you dress up as some sort of evil spirit and you're getting into character, sometimes people can get a little bit carried away with their method acting. But throughout the Celtic regions, these activities occur at Samhain because this is a time of communing with the supernatural. This is a time when the veil is very, very thin, and people could easily be tricked by evil spirits. So you could ward off any potential evil spirits coming through when the veil was thin by disguising yourself in a costume. We also have the tradition of soul cakes, which were small round cakes, sweet cakes with spices, and they were given out over the 3-day period of All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. And they were given out to soulers, as they were called, children and the poor, who would go door to door singing and saying prayers. And this tradition dates back to medieval England. And in Mexico, they have their own traditions that have to do with Dia de los Muertos. And Mexican children go door to door asking for calaverita, or little skulls, and are given out small sugar skulls at this time of year. But most of our traditions come to us from the Celtic regions of Europe. And as immigrant populations came to the United States mostly through Ellis Island, and moved from Europe to America in the late 1800s, they brought these traditions with them. And by the early 1900s, Halloween, as we know it now, was very popular in the United States. And the phrase trick or treat actually comes to us from Canada, but by the mid-1930s was spreading all across America. And by the 1980s, that term trick-or-treat had actually found its way back to the United Kingdom, where the whole concept came from in the first place. And in some American communities in the Midwest, particularly in places like Missouri and Iowa, they have a tradition where the children who go trick-or-treating from door to door have to actually perform a trick like a magic trick or a gymnastic trick or sing a little song or say a little poem. They have to like do something to get the treat. So they have to perform some way to earn the treat. And by the 1990s, we have now evolved into trunk or treat, where parents meet, families gather in community areas like churches, schools, community centers, and park their cars around the parking lot, pop open the backs of their vehicles, and bring out all the decorations and all the candy, and all the kids just go from car to car collecting candy, wearing their costumes. And of course, nowadays, everybody likes to dress up. When I was a kid, the adults didn't dress up, just the kids did. And we were sent out trick-or-treating with nobody keeping an eye on us. They gave us a pillowcase and said, go get your candy. And we just ran wild in the streets, going door to door and collecting candy. By the time my children were little, a parent had to go with them. They went around the neighborhood, but a parent had to take them. So like one of them had to stay home and give out the candy, and one parent had to walk around the neighborhood so the kids could trick or treat. But nowadays, most people don't do a whole lot of trick or treating outside their immediate neighborhoods with people they know or at trunk or treats. So I hope you enjoyed taking a little look at some of the traditions of trick or treating and why we do it at this time of year.
Wow, these traditions go back such a long time. Who knew? I guess wearing a disguise just won't fool your neighbor. You can also fool evil spirits. That way they won't possess you, which is a good thing. And of course, we all love the childhood poem, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care, I'll pull down. Oh, yeah, don't actually finish that. That will probably get you arrested somewhere and definitely detained. And anyway, join us tomorrow for day 3 of our 13 days of Samhain. Until then, take care and toodles. Oh, and don't pants anybody either. You know?